On August 12th, just a few days away, Spain will be experiencing its first solar eclipse in 114 years, and the excitement has begun to rise in the past couple of weeks. People are really looking forward to this event. Basically, we are talking about the first and possibly once in a lifetime experience for the entirety of the Spanish population, not to mention all the foreign visitors who have come to see this too. Astrotourism is quite big. Now, the last time a total eclipse could be seen on the Spanish mainland was on April 17th, 1912. And if that date sort of rings a bell somewhat, it was just 2 days after the Titanic sank. This eclipse was a rare, what they call hybrid eclipse, a mix of an annular eclipse. An annular eclipse is when the moon is a little bit smaller than the size of the sun. So there's a ring. Annular refers to the word ring. And there's a ring around the moon instead of the sun being completely blocked out. And then there was this brief period when it was a total eclipse, so it was actually both. That brief period, though, was, we're talking practically seconds, and it was in a very narrow band, just maybe a mile or two across. So you had to be very lucky to be able to see the full eclipse. The rest of the time, it was this annular eclipse that could be seen mainly in France. And then a few years before that, in 1900, there was another total eclipse. But since that time, since 1912, nada. Nada in Spanish is nothing. There's been nothing throughout that period. So basically, is what I was telling you at the beginning. I don't think a single person is old enough to say they could remember the 1912 one happening. So that makes it quite special here. The eclipse will affect in some form or another the entire country in terms of 100% being the total eclipse and a near total eclipse being 99, 98, 97%. But the total eclipse strip sort of curves from the northwest of the country and covers a large portion of the upper third of Spain and goes out the east coast. What makes this eclipse interesting from an astronomer's perspective and from our perspective, but tricky to observe from the spectator standpoint, is the fact that it is actually an evening eclipse. It's taking place at about 8:30 p.m., 8:30 in the evening. Now, in other places in the world, it would be the sun would have set by then, and it would be very difficult to enjoy the eclipse. But in Spain, the days are especially long in the evening, extraordinarily long, for a reason I should tell you about at a different time. And right now, the sun doesn't go down until about 9:15, 9:30, depending on where you are in the country. So that gives you ample time. However, you do have to be careful because if you live next to a place where the horizon's a lot higher, meaning there's a mountain in front of you, that could impact your view of the eclipse. So you have to be careful. That's one issue. Another possible issue is the location. And by that I mean Spain's northern coast, in theory, is an ideal spot to observe this eclipse. You can see it for the longest time. But what's the problem up there? The northern coast of Spain is traditionally one of the cloudiest and rainiest parts of the country, even in the summer. So even though people have flocked to the north, not just because it's summer and they like to be on that coast, which is true, but also because of the eclipse. And it's also risky to do that because you never know what kind of day you're going to get. It could be sunny, but also could be cloudy, could even be rainy. So we'll have to wait and see. At the moment, I've been looking at the weather forecast for different parts, and it looks pretty good. But up there, there is going to be a risk of clouds, especially low clouds, which is what I was telling you about. The fact that the sun is going to be close to the horizon and the clouds will be lower, that could be a factor. But you just don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. To the south of those mountains, in Castilla y León, and in Aragon, the northeastern part of Castilla-La Mancha, and Tarragona y Valencia, the weather forecast is looking better. Even here in the northern part of Madrid, the region of Madrid, the forecast is what it often is in August, sunny and warm, and very little cloud cover. So those areas are a better bet, and are also a reason why millions are planning on being present for what is, for many people, literally a once-in-a-lifetime event. In fact, everyone's sort of stocking up on those special Eclipse glasses. The government has doled out 4 million pairs for free. The main outlet for many of them is the lottery booths for the ONCE, ONCE lottery ticket. For those of you who do not know this, the ONCE, which means 11, but it's an acronym for Spain's Organization for the Blind. And this is one of the most important institutions in the country. One thing it is actually known for is this daily lottery. And since these glasses are needed to avoid severe eye damage and permanent vision loss, it seems fitting that the lottery ticket sellers, would be handing them out for free, by the way. You can also get them at places like pharmacies for something like €2. Just make sure they are certified. You can tell, but they have the code ISO 12312-2:2015. Spain's capital, Madrid, the city itself is just outside the total eclipse band or strip there. It's at 99%, which is really, really good. You'll definitely see some of the effects. But according to what I've read and been told, 99% is nothing compared to the real thing, the 100%. The northern and eastern part of this province falls inside the 100% band. The rest of Spain to the south will be affected, but not fully. Some people will be flocking to the north to witness it firsthand, and that has meant that hotel occupation is nearly maxed out, and rates have skyrocketed. Just a few days before this big moment, 94% of all the rooms available in the hospitality sector, in the band where the totality will take place, have been taken up, with the remaining rooms costing something out of this world. If you look up in Booking, the rates for a particular hotel in Burgos, the city of Burgos is right smack in the middle of the 100% band. This place is called the Hotel Braseros, for example. Its last rooms were going for, until very recently, for a whopping €475. Now, that's a 3-star hotel with a pretty ordinary 7.5 rating. That same hotel offers rooms for €70 in September. So you can see how the prices have been jacked up for the event. In Soria, which is a province just east of Burgos, and another 100% zone, small country houses which offer short-term rent, the whole house, and they might do that normally for €200 a day, are now asking for €1,500 just for that one night. And private homeowners are offering their bedrooms, just a bed, for €600 that night. And it's like that for most of the areas of the affected zone where you're going to see 100% totality. Then you check rates that are just outside that band, the 99, 98%, and the prices plummet. And it's funny because you have your glasses, you'll be able to see pretty much an entire eclipse from beginning to end. But because it's not 100%, the prices there they're practically giving them away. In general, the touristic impact and the economic impact is supposed to be enormous, going into the hundreds of millions of euros, possibly into even the billions. This is good news, especially for areas which are often ignored by standard tourism. The masses will come and go and probably leave almost immediately, but some might see these places and just might want to come back. So there's something positive in that sense may come from this. Traffic is supposed to be horrific, and the highway police, the Guardia Civil, is warning all citizens to expect complications and possibly restrictions. They are expecting anywhere from 400,000 to 1.5 million vehicles to make a last-minute move towards the totality zone. So if you're planning to go up and see it on that very day, plan your trip carefully and give yourself plenty of time to get to wherever you want to be. So there you have it. We are very much looking forward to this unique experience. I've never been in a full eclipse, and this may be my only chance. I'm lucky to be in an area where I'll be able to see it without having to go anywhere else. So if I get a chance, I will tell you more about it and tell you how it went. And that'll be all for our podcast brought to you by Brian Spain Domain. Please feel free to leave us any comments because we love the feedback. You can subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and Castos. Or if you wish to support Brian Spain Domain, we'd greatly appreciate it. We work very hard to provide you with the best information about Spain, Spanish history, Spanish culture, Spanish gastronomy, and Spanish everything. You can do so by clicking on our PayPal donate button, or if you want to have access to absolutely all of our podcasts and support us regularly, you can check us out on Patreon at the link provided below. You can also check us out on our YouTube channel and support us by subscribing. Stay well, stay safe, and hasta pronto.